rest. Don't rest.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going, Mike. Keep going.
Come on. Get
Hi. Oh, let me see. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Jeez, I keep doing this.
Previously on Coach Greg.
All right, I gotta end the video because I can't sit here. We're gonna leave. Say hi.
Hi.
Man, this is so annoying. There's like, I think at the Royalton, there's like, I don't know, maybe 100 feet of like where you can actually stand. And it's so freaking hot. I can hardly do this, right? So this should be far enough away, I guess. There's a billion here. All right. Okay, all right, so. Coach Greg, and at this point, you need life insurance to train with Larry Wheels. And it's not Larry Wheels' fault. People are using him as much as he's using other people. You want to get the clicks, you want to get the views. People are going for 1 rep maxes, pushing their bodies to beyond what they should be, all for views. We all want the dopamine rush, getting 1 million clicks, becoming famous, popular for lifting ridiculously heavy weights. So Mike Edwards is no different here. Wait till you see the accident that happened here. I'm watching the video at the gym, and literally when that weight dropped, I was jumping in the air in my reaction. I was like, I can't believe this.
Your best bench at the moment is 510 for 2.
510 for a double.
And so Mike Edwards' current 1 rep max is 510 for 2 reps, okay? 2 reps. My best, I could get that for 3, so he's very close to lifting what I could do at my all-time best. This guy is only 23 years old. He's clearly a freak. And he benches close grip just because that's where he can lift the most weight. Trust me. If he could bench 10 pounds more by widening his grip, he would do it. Some people can bench more with a wide grip, some more with a narrow grip. Depends. Where are you strongest? You have really strong triceps, you can bench press more close grip. If you're like me, better in the chest, a wider grip allows you to bench press more, decrease range of motion, and so on.
He's going for 530, close to 550 today.
As close to 550 as I can. If I can hit 550, I'll hit 550. I'll take something lower though. But as long as it's a PR.
And his goal is to bench press 550, but 530 would be a PR. Why would you go for 550 when your best ever is 525? 530 is a PR. A PR is a PR. Whether it's a PR by 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter! Even the friggin' Rock knows that it doesn't matter. Save the dopamine rush for later. If you bench 530 and it's a PR, that is good enough. Save it for later. The more you push boundaries, the quicker you try to get strong, the more likely you're gonna get injured. Anyone think this guy might be natural? No, I didn't think so. And when you're enhanced, the likelihood of getting injured is that much higher. One of the differences between being natural and enhanced is the increased risk of injuries. So this guy is already predisposed to being injured. He has to be careful, more careful than last time. And as you can see, he's not. This is way too risky and frankly, downright stupid. But of course, they're going to do it anyway for the views. Trust me, I know what it's like. I know the rush you can get from getting a bunch of views and trying to set PRs. I was a power lifter for a decade setting world records. I know what it's like and how bad you want to hit a PR. And not only this, they're cheating to get the weight up. They're going to use lifting straps around the elbows. It makes it easier. When you go for 1 rep maxes in a bench press competition, you cannot use this. So it's artificially increasing your lift. You're lifting more weight because you're compressing the elbows. It's like a spring, kind of like when you wear knee wraps, except you can't wear this to actually do a bench press. So it's kind of like saying I just set a PR on the bench press when Larry Wheels was spotting the weight up. Does that actually count? You may have seen me lifting with slingshots in the past. It's stretching the arms and you can actually lift 100+ pounds more. I bench pressed 600 pounds with a slingshot, but I don't claim to bench press 600 pounds. So this is in fact cheating, artificially lifting heavier weights. And when you can lift more weight because the elbows are tighter, that puts more strain everywhere else, can change your form, greater risk of injury. So should you in fact be going for an all-time PR with the day you're lifting with Larry Wheels where you have so much adrenaline? No, it's just increasing your risk of injury.
The bench that I bench with back home, I believe it's a wide pad also.
And another thing you need to consider when going for your 1 rep max is every gym has a different bench. Different benches allow you to lift different amounts of weight. The wider the bench, the more you can actually lift. When I compete on a wider bench, I can lift more. sometimes 10 to 20 pounds more. If the gym is very, very narrow, it's going to allow me to lift even less. So just because you lift less weight one day in one gym doesn't mean you're actually weaker. Also, sometimes the weights aren't calibrated. I've gone to gyms with a scale, weighed the plates, found out some are 43 pounds, some are 47 pounds. So depending on the plates you grab, you may in fact be lifting more or less than you actually thought. And something isn't adding up here. He benched 475 at 21 years of age. It was a 1 rep max, and then he got injured and he couldn't train for several months. And then he magically got healed and came back on his first day, setting his PR. Does that make sense? Can you actually take several months off, not train, you're injured, and come back and set your PR? Even if you can, should you? Should you do it? It's been how many months since I broke my elbow and had surgery just about 6 weeks ago? Do you think the first day back after the doctor clears me that I should go for a 1 rep max? Even if I could lift my 1 rep max, should I? Of course not. I'm gonna lift extremely light weights, very, very slow repetitions, and make sure I don't get injured. So if you're coming back from injury, don't push it too quickly. Take your time. Every day, you should be able to get a little bit stronger, but take your time. Do high rep sets of 30, 40 reps. You don't have to get into the gym and bench 475. It just doesn't make sense. Lighter weight, slow and controlled, and take your time getting stronger. You shouldn't be abusing PDs. As soon as you get off of an injury, people want to get strong. They want to get their former strength back. They want to get their muscles back to where they were, faster than ever. So they jump on PDs. That is the worst time to do it. When you're injured and you're not training, you're taking your time, you should be able to come back and make those newbie gains again. Muscle memory. You can make gains without taking anything. This is the time to just go easy and gradually get back to your former self. Don't take anything. And I'm not saying to take anything, but if you did decide to do that, that would be when you reach a plateau. You get back from injury, you get stronger, your body gets back to normal, and you don't use anything. If you do, you're further taking that risk to get injured again. And in case you're wondering, there's nothing wrong with using these straps. There's a time and a place. Trust me, these guys are like arm wrestling champions. Their elbows are sore all the time. If you're deadlifting and squatting and you're sore, these can definitely help you to do the bench press. So I'm not saying don't buy these. I'm just saying be careful if you're going for a 1 rep max, trying to lift more than ever before with the aid of these straps. Get used to it first. You don't have to set a PR the first day you lift with the straps.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely used to it. I wonder with this, if the closer you go, the more assistance you get.
And so to answer Larry's question, the answer is yes. The more narrow you go, the more assistance you're going to get. Just like with the slingshot, the further your grip is, the less it's helping. The more close you are, the more you're getting that stretch, that recoil, and it's going to allow you to lift even more weight. So because he does in fact bench press with a narrow grip, it is going to help him more than with a wide grip.
This set in between, I don't think it's necessary. Many people argue that, but I've always, I've jumped from 700 deadlift to 900 and it felt great. I've jumped from 500 on the bench to like 650. It felt great, so I've made huge jumps.
And how much should you be jumping between reps? I'm not in agreement with Larry Wheels in that you should go for big jumps. He says he's, for example, gone from 500 on the bench and jumped to 650. So Mike's been warming up, but not doing a lot of reps. It's not really a great warm-up. He did 3 plates for 1 rep, then jumped to 4 plates for 1 rep, and they're jumping to 5 plates for 1 rep. To me, that is just not enough. You're asking for an injury. You should at least get a few more reps in there. Why not do 3 plates for 5? How bad would that be? 4 plates, why not 2 reps? What is the big deal? Why not warm up appropriately? And he's saying, should I jump to 495 from 405? I'm thinking, no. What is the harm in doing the 455 first? You're gonna get tired out from that sub maximum set, 455 for 1, when you could probably do it for 5 to 8 reps with ease? Why not do it? What could possibly be negative about doing 455 before doing 495? If this guy was bench pressing 700 pounds, no big deal. He'd go from 315 to 405 to 495, no problem. But he's not. 510 for 2 is his best. He's been injured before. 525 is his max. He's going for 495 here. That is a big jump. Safer to go and take smaller jumps.
Once you're feeling warm and ready, I think you are. It's flying up, looks great. 5.
Listen, if you're doing big jumps, I'm doing big jumps. That's it. Let's go.
Did it look like he was ready? Did it look like all his warm-up said sweat hunky-dory? Was his feet slipping? Was he used to the bench? Was it the same width bench? Was it the same bar? When you train at a different gym with different equipment, you need to warm up more than last time. Not less, more. How could it possibly be bad to do more warm-ups just to be safe?
Get this money, come on.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, big brace, big air. Good. Yeah.
Foot slipped.
Oh, did it? Yeah. No, it didn't. Thought something happened there at the end.
Yeah, it slipped.
And so does it look like the warm-ups went according to plan? No, he's quite literally saying that my foot slipped. He's like, how did it look? Well, it looked good except for the part where you slipped, and it didn't quite pass the way that it was supposed to be. Now, had his foot have slipped with 455 on the previous set, when he jumped to 500 pounds, it would have been more ready for it. He could have known what to do. And so the plan next is, let's go for a 1 rep max 530. Let's just do it. Why? Because, well, why not? Let's get a max in. It's not like there's a chance I might get injured. It's not like I'm enhanced and have a greater chance of injury. It's not like I've mastered and perfected my technique on this bench and I know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna do it. After all, I got Larry Wheels. No one's ever been injured while training with Larry Wheels. Obviously he's a great spotter. He knows what he's doing. He's super strong, but is this bench set up with safety mechanisms? Is there a safety rack? Are there side spotters? When you're bench pressing a maximum 530 pounds and you drop that weight, and if it lands on your neck or your face, you could die. Larry Wheels is strong, but he can't catch 530 pounds on his own, especially if he's not ready for it. You just can't. It's hard. So ideally, you have safety racks on the side. They've implemented this in powerlifting competitions because, trust me, people have been injured, lost teeth at competitions. It's dangerous. And so this bench isn't technically a safe bench to do a 1 rep max on. Problem is, gyms around the world, they don't have these safety setups. I don't know why. Don't know why it's not standard. How many times have you watched a gym fail video where somebody got crushed by the bench or they're stuck under the bar, they can't get out? This wouldn't happen with safety racks because it catches the bar before it gets to your neck. It's one thing for the bar to hit your chest, deflates your air a little bit. That's no big deal. It's another thing to get crushed on your neck and to die, okay? We don't want that.
The longer you have them on, the less effective they'll be because you won't be able to close your hand if you're very uncomfortable, pain.
And so Larry's explaining that when you have these elbow wraps on for a while, it numbs your hands. It makes it difficult to grab the bar, okay? So when you're doing a 1 rep max and you lift it after the weight's taken off, you just unrack it right away because it numbs your hand, makes it harder to grab the bar. So he's now going to attempt 10 plus reps with 405 to get a PR, even though it's technically cheating. Is it really a PR if you did 10 reps without straps and now you have straps and you want to take these straps off right away? But if you're doing a set of 10 or more, it's on your arm for a long time. Your hands are getting numb. See what's going to happen here? I'm foreshadowing what's about to happen. Why does this accident happen? Because he's wearing these elbow sleeves for the first time. He's not using them. His hands are getting numb. He's wearing it for a long time because it's a high rep set.
You know what? Maybe I'll just take the shoes off, just in case.
Shoes and socks.
Then no socks, yeah.
No socks?
No socks.
And so he slipped with his shoes on. So his plan, I'll just take my shoes off and do it in sock feet. Sock feet. You think if you're slipping with shoes, you're not going to slip with socks, especially when you get wet or a bit of sweat on you? So let's just lose the socks and lift barefoot for the first time. Like, that's a smart idea. Well, let's go for a 1 rep max barefoot. I've never done it in my life. When I used to deadlift all the time, my feet would slip out. I'm doing sumo stance, wide stance, you get slippery feet. You dampen the floor, you step on it, and dry it off. Happens all the time. When we do powerlifting meets, we'll often step on a damp floor and dry our feet off to have that extra stick, that extra grip. That is what you actually do. You don't take off your shoes and bench barefoot.
All right.
Come on, let's see it.
3, 2, 1.
Yep. Big drive. Big drive.
Yes. Yes, even with hitting the rack. Wow, congrats.
I can go a little higher.
And he gets the lift with sloppy form with his feet slipping. And what's the first thing he thinks of? Let's go heavier, 540. You've already set the PR. You're not injured. That is a win. Let's call it a day here. You don't need to keep setting another PR. The dopamine rush you get of setting 2 PRs back to back is not going to be a lot more than setting that 1 PR. Just trust me. You got 530, you live to set it another day. You bench 530 today, maybe in a couple weeks you can do 540. If you do 540 today, what are you going to have to do? 550 to be impressive. Slowly gain your strength over the course of the years. Don't try to get your super high max 1 rep all at once in 1 month. Wow, I benched 600, that's great. Now what? You need 605 to be impressive. So please, slow and steady gains, injury-free. That is much better than benching 600, then you're off for 5 years because you're injured, or you can't bench ever again because you're dead from doing a stupid bench press.
Frankly though, I wouldn't take another jump. I would go to a drop set with 4 or 5.
Yeah?
I'm in a good note. It's ready to PR.
Yeah.
A double PR, it's taking a big risk.
And thankfully, Larry actually convinces him not to go for the 540. So you might be thinking, well, Larry's setting up all these injuries, he's preventing one. If this guy would have went for 540 and did the same thing he's doing with 405, it could have been a disaster. Trust me, this guy, he might not be around right now. He might be in the hospital, he might be dead. We don't know. So Larry convinces him, yo, stop right here, let's lighten the way.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Good.
You okay?
I mean, how can you watch that without reacting? You're looking at his hands, he's pushing, then drops it, crushed the chest. 405 pounds, lucky this guy is a freaking beast. Most people be in the hospital dropping that much weight from that distance. 405 pounds, lucky it landed on his chest. This could have been way worse. Lucky he's saying he's not injured. We don't know. Sometimes your adrenaline is flowing. You don't know. You could be drastically injured and don't know. Gotta move. It's ridiculous. You kick me out of one spot and then they come here and freaking ruin it. How are you supposed to do anything? You got music blasting this way.
Injury-free.
Okay, thank God. Thank God.
I mean, that was
Good one, though. Good
that
one.
was like almost a 3-rep PR.
He's done 10 without the straps. He did 12 and a half reps, dropped it, almost crushed himself. So I got a PR. Why not just say, Larry, hey, spot me for 40 reps and I'll set a PR. It's not a PR if you're using something to help you lift a weight that you didn't have on the other time.
I just was like pounding the reps out, and I was like, oh, there it goes.
And just think of it, he's like, I'm pounding the reps out, I'm not even thinking, I'm just going, and I just drop the weight out of my hand. Just because you have Larry Wheels spotting you, and he's one of the strongest guys in the world, doesn't mean you can lose your technique and lose your focus. You have to live. You don't just risk injury for views. It's not worth it, people. So, yeah, he's lucky. And are you going to be lucky? Larry says, you're the first person to have an accident that wasn't seriously injured with me. And they're not kidding here. At this point, people are going to need to have life insurance policies to work out with Larry Wheels. And I looked in the comment section, and people are actually saying the same thing. This is high-risk stuff. It's not worth the risk. Be careful. You're 23 years old. You have your whole life ahead of you to set PRs. You don't need to set a 600-pound bench today. 525 is your best. You come off of an injury.
Look, the current body acceptance movement is harming people's health. All right. Ooh, I like what
Stop!
you're doing.
You were 9 months injured, couldn't train. Was it worth it? Don't you want to keep lifting and training? You're 23. You have plenty of time to keep lifting more weight. You don't have to go for 550 from 525. You see it all the time. Once you lift 7 plates, well, how long before 8? Smaller, more consistent goals. And so consider this guy lucky. He's excessively strong. I don't know what he weighs, but he's benching 530 pounds at 23 years of age is ridiculous. I would guess he's probably 240 pounds. Maybe he's in that weight class, but still, that is crazy kind of lifting. Like, I don't see that kind of lifting very often. This guy is a freak. Just be careful. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IP Pro. The bloops are over on my left over there. Harder than last time supplements, including the turkesterone. You can get that. Also, cookbooks, a Circle diet book, coaching plans. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. We're out here in Mexico having a good time other than the noise. But anyway, until next time, I'm out.